Fly, Fifer, and just another monkey. Time to backpedal forwards down the rabbit hole.
Jingle bells.
Here we go again. Here we go again. Listen, it's been one of the days today where we've decided just to give you more of what you want.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it was a mutual agreement that we were just going to do two. So here it is, straight back into it. Alan and I have been discussing the asshole.
The asshole.
The
indeed,
asshole,
yes.
indeed. And what society created, the asshole society created. So, Alan, do you want to elaborate for everybody where we
100%.
where that come from? Because it was from you that came from.
Yeah, it's my phrase, and it's a phrase that pays as far as I'm concerned, because the asshole is the creation of society, 100%. So if I was the guy that was in the court, you'd be looking, look at that asshole.
Yeah.
If it's me in a stolen car, look at that asshole. It's me doing a wheelie along the fucking street with no helmet on my motorbike, that's an asshole. I was only the asshole because society created that asshole. And the asshole in itself is the difference between society's version and my version. So again, you're touching and borderline in there on two worlds, because there's the monkey and then there's the asshole. I've always referred to man's world and that whole system as they're all assholes, because they are. Everything today is shite. They're full of shit. They fucking stink. Their modus operandi stinks. Their method of education stinks. They can't engage with individuals. That stinks. Everything about it just says
everyone's gain.
Asshole.
Everyone's gain.
Finance,
you know?
financial, reward. Whereas for me, no, survival. Where does that stem from? Go right back to first principles. It's a primeval survival skill, and that is the monkey, as far as I'm concerned. And it's the way that I've evolved in myself, in my own thinking, that the creation of man, you know, he's poison, or he's fucking bullshittery. He's trying to format the mind with his education system, his laws, his rules, his regulations. I rebelled against them all. I knew how to play the game, and that's when the asshole that they had created had then this opposite alter ego that was the monkey that could play the game, and I knew how to play the game. So I think that's what it is.
So society creates that asshole, creates that clever mind as well behind that.
Yeah, because that's the reflection.
Aye. Go and tell everybody what you did with that. How you flipped that around to play the game as you put it.
I think that coming out of 92, which obviously I would be 22-year-old then.
7-year cycles, mate.
Well,
you know, okay, it's 22,
21 was the explosion. Then we're rolling into the third cycle.
Yeah.
So that third cycle, you've got to remember where that takes me. And again, it's a backwards journey that we can only go kind of forwards on. So the understanding of the game, the understanding of what they had created was an asshole. I beat myself up for a long time. I caused a lot of trouble. There was all this hassle that I didn't want to bleat on about, but there was fucking things that weren't right at all. And I had created it all, but I had created it all as an asshole. And I admitted it to myself, and irrespective of anybody that I needed to justify it to, they understood it by the time I explained why. So moving from there, going forward, I then...
See, you're even using
going forward.
The terminology.
Exactly. I only use the word going forward because people say it. You think, well, who the fuck goes backwards? It's like, okay, people, let's think outside the box. You know, what the fuck are you doing in a box? I've always questioned it. I never go along with man's instruction, because to me, man is an asshole. He always has been. And it's that whole thing. It's the dog chasing its tail. He does not fucking evolve. He revolves all the time, just goes round and round. The old shitty mulberry bush.
Right.
So I come out of that, and then I realised, and I thought, right, okay, let's put on the game heat. Let's play the asshole's game and beat him at his own game. So I did, and I done things in a survival mechanism to fund, I don't know, a rich life, just enough to get by. So I done things that made me happy. So if it was having a nice car, having motorbikes, having things at my disposal in order to keep the asshole away, that's what I'd done, and I enjoyed it. It was great fun. I met some fucking endearing characters.
I was just about to say, you mentioned one woman who's close to your heart, Morag.
Well, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually, by the time I went to the college thing and I decided to go to school,
Is it too early for Moraga?
a wee bit.
Right.
Yeah,
We'll
because
drop that. We can
yeah,
move
but
on.
again, she maybe comes in about 4 years later.
Right.
But within that 4 years, that's when I eventually went into the pubs because I was doing the criminal side and I enjoyed it. I mean, again, I hadn't care. I was playing the game. So if it was, oh, Alan, somebody requires like a DHL driver, go pick up a parcel and bring it back to you and da-da-da. I don't know that. And it was a giggle. It was always a laugh. There was too many stories. But again, I'm not going to dwell on them because it would appear as glorifying it. But with the backstory that's already there, I think anybody can understand why I would do the things as I done. But I saw it made as a humorous side. It was a funny side. So doing all these things then led me for the guy that ended up in the club, the nightclub. I ended up going back there in disguise. and the long story short on that one is I got a job that led me to be there for fucking years.
When you say disguise, what just
I put a baseball cap on.
Right.
Just because I don't know how long before that I was the guy, the drug crazed loony goes to fucking nightclub door with gun. It was a lot of shite. Again, it was shite. But the medical profession allowed that to be no brushed under the carpet. But again, like I've said numerous times, they couldn't deal with it. They couldn't answer it because it was all justified. Certain things had pissed me off, and that was my reaction. So the outcome was that I worked there, don't know what my position was. I used to take tills away at the end of the night. I would tell door stewards where to be. I was the last man there. So
is this it started playing the game then? Started turning it around to, right, okay.
It's me coming, venturing back. Because you imagine anywhere that there's a demon, I go back. So there was demons in that club. I went back to face them. Right. The demons were gone, and what was there was an opportunity. So I took on that opportunity. And
you took the role managing the club, or
I don't know what it was. I wasn't a manager again. It was like when I worked the gunner or places like that. I was a peacekeeper. Right. But I had that because of the person that I had now become. The evolution, the merging of the monkey and the man, monkey and the asshole. We shook hands and we become this single entity. And people liked that. People admired that. And again, you had all the criminal world that saw the monkey at its rebelliousness. It didn't care. It would do anything. So they liked that and they enjoyed that. And the people that would be interacting with them, they understood that there was a loyalty to this thing. If you show me loyalty, you get it back. It was that thing. I never ever liked that. What was it they used to say? Respect.
Respect.
I didn't respect anyone because I've found in the criminal fraternity there is that many liars, lying bastards out there. For whatever reason, it's a shitty world anyway. But I never liked that word. But I had a mutual understanding with a lot of people, and they had a lot of trust in me and a lot of faith, and that was something that they could see was this guy's been tested. He's real. He's the real deal. So yeah, we'll give him an opportunity and a chance. So staying in the club, I was there for years. Like I said, the whole paedophile thing, that trauma that was in that, for the guy that was in there that was tormented for all that time, I ended up being a fairly intricate part, looking after the biggest gay club in Scotland at one point. And I fucking loved the people, honestly. I mean, I say people because it's like a different class. But they were evolving and coming out the closet, if you like. Joy was a nightclub. And I was a big part of that. The club had security firms on the doors and everything. The rave scene had died on its ass, and the gay scene was there. Because when I first started in the club, they were wanting to pay me in the rave just for my presence in the club. If you were looking for the monkey, he's on the centre of the stage, dancing into the light, half fucking naked, out his trumpet. He didn't care. And once the drugs kind of wore off, and it was shite because I knew that the drugs had an adverse reaction, and I thought, nah, this is I enjoy this. So evolution was drop the rave scene. It was dead in its ass, and the gay scene just become bigger and bigger. This gay club, and the people were fucking beautiful. They were amazing. The fuckers could dance, and I loved it. I honestly,
they all smelt good.
They took real pride in what they were doing, and they had a good time. They enjoyed it. The heterosexual people that would come there, and I'm talking for the scheme, because the ecstasy world was still it was still kicking, and some really amazing people from the hood, from Shit Creek, would come in there, and they had the best time ever because there was never any violence. There's no peacocks strutting about, swaggering, doing their thing. It was just
there for a good time,
brilliant time, and I was having a good time. And that's that evolution. That this is good. I'm enjoying life now. It's great fun. It's leading to other things, other avenues. Doors are opening, and then it kind of died on its ass a wee bit for me anyway. There was issues between management because the licensee, blah blah blah. I left, and I was doing other things, and then the guy phoned me again, and that was that conversation where I met you at the bridge. I met that guy that ran the club at the time, and he said to me, "Look, what about this wee pub? What pub? Grand Tap." I said, "I know, I used to drink there, and I had drunk there. I had so many interactions there, with various odds and sods and whatnot, some great giggles." He says, "I can get it. Do you want it?" And I thought, "I'm a criminal. What the fuck? No, it wouldn't work for me. I wouldn't get a license." And I thought, oh. One of the first pubs that I got paid 25 quid a night for my presence in there. Not for a great deal of time, but just I was getting pushed all the time. It would have been 17, 18. Wouldn't have been 19 because that's when I had my first flat. Could have been. Who cares?
See, when you say you're getting paid for your presence,
yeah.
Elaborate on that. So, because I know, because you've told me. But
okay. So
I'm going to put that heater on while you tell everybody.
Primarily, you have doorman. So if I'm a doorman, that means I wear a penguin suit and I stand on a door, becoming a target. That's what a doorman does. I was never a doorman. My presence would be that I was in the club or in the pub, and I would just be another part of the furniture. So I would be part of the establishment, just another punter. But if an asshole starts a fight, I'm the guy that gets up and says, "Here, turn it in." And that's what it was. For me to be sitting in a pub being paid, you wouldn't know that I was there for any other reason at all. The bouncers, they were them. The doormen, they were them. I was just this free floating thing that would get paid. And if something happened, I would be there.
Be there.
And because I knew so many people, it actually worked in my favour that violence and trouble could be avoided just by talking. And again, I had this persona that,
and then you'd have other characters, other monkeys that would see that you were there and think, well, can he start our shite tonight? Alan's here.
To a degree, yeah. But I mean, again, it was more, especially when it comes to scheme pubs, because they looked after themselves. So your presence isn't really required. But if the boss is willing to give you money to be there, and you think, okay.
All right, mate.
I was never called upon to do anything, certainly not in the first one. But we would go for there down to the tap. So when the tap offer come up, which was the guy in the nightclub had offered me that, I went in there as a fully fledged partner because the other individuals I was dealing with, one of them had been caught, and the end result was he was getting 5 years. But the police says to him, "We know exactly what you're doing. We know how and who is involved." And when he told me, I thought, "Oh, that sounds like." And they says to him, "Tell that big arsehole we're coming to get him." So again, the arsehole label was sticking then. I thought, "Can no, you know." So when the offer came to go into the pub, I thought, "I'll do that." Case in point being that the first pub that I was being paid in, the guy that was managing that, he had been kind of ousted for other legitimate reasons. So he wasn't available. He wasn't doing anything. And he stayed underneath me in the flats because by that time I moved into the flats and I'd conquered the demons. This is for the tap. So you got the Willie Muir was then, that become obsolete. Fast forward to coming out of the nightclub. And I'd say to him, I says, "Oh, what about that?" He says, "I tried for it." I said, "No, I can get it. Are you interested?" Aye. So we went to that hotel at the bridge, made the deal, and he says, "I'll do it if you do it." And I thought, hey, hang on, I never really thought about getting involved, but I could get involved because they're coming to get me, and if I'm doing that, I'm not doing anything wrong. So we did, and we started it off, and we turned it for nothing. And again, that presence was fucking fantastic because we had a ball.
Right.
I met my wife during that time. Too many stories too many serendipitous things that made that all happen. But yeah, we got together then, and it was a great laugh. The lock-ins and things like that. Everything was great. It was how scheme pubs work. And anybody that knows how a scheme pub works, they'll know that nothing was above the fucking board. Nothing at all. We had a great time. And then we fell out because it was just a lot of skullduggery going on, a lot of theft and thievery. So I ended up leaving, and I went to the Anchor, which is the next one up. I'd done 2 years in the Tap, and then I'd done 2 years in the Anchor, and I just got bored with it. It was really fucking starting to bore me. One of my wee pals, he was a plasterer, one of the first glue sniffing mob, but he'd done his YTS in plastering, and his labourer was going off, and he was a bit, I don't know what I'm going to do with a labourer. I said, I'll do it. No, you'll know how. You'll tell me to fuck off. Because I had done all these other things. I was well schooled at other things. And money was a really easy thing for me. I could make money, no bother at all. Like I say, go a bit shopping for something that's done. And I had my wee box, the wee green box. It was fully fucking money. It was thousands of pounds in this wee thing. And so I didn't need money. And I said, no, I'll do it because I'm bored with my tits anyway. He said, no, if I tell you to do something, you tell me to fuck off. I said, no, I'll do it. So we did. And I loved it. And then the pub was starting to go. There was no need for my presence in there at all. Again, punters look after the pub themselves. It was their pub, no fucking mine. So we done that, and then the pub wore off and decided to go with him. So we branched out and we done our own thing. Next minute, he's got about 6 plasterers working for him, and we were the no management. And then again, it ran its course. And I decided, it's not for me. So I started drinking in the Gunner. And the Gunner was hilarious. And then there was a couple of altercations, and the boss man had said to me, you don't want a job? I said, no, I don't want a job. I can't sit in a pub if there's an asshole there, because he spoils everybody else's night. So I didn't intervene and say, listen, as politely as I can, because I'm not a violent guy, and I'm not a fighter either. But obviously, if you punch me in the face, I'll fucking hit you back. So this guy, he had annoyed me. He got ejected, shall we say. And then the boss man was like, look, thanks very much for that. Buy you a drink. No bother. Do you know, fancy it? No. Ask me later. No. And I waited till I was half pissed. And I said, fuck it, all right then. So I did, and I stayed there for ages, and Christine was there, and then eventually we got there was an Invercaden. That's when I was in the Gunner, and I started doing the college thing, because I watched her on a computer and I was fascinated. The whole education thing come back to me, because the demons had robbed me. Any form of education. Everything I learnt the hard way in the school of knocks, hard knocks, or whatever the fuck they call it. And I thought, you know what, I'll go back and I'll touch up, because when I was working with the plasterer, he's talking to engineers and fucking architects and clever guys, and I just felt that I wasn't even good enough to hold the door open. I just felt really thick. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to try this, because I can adapt to my own surroundings like the average fucking clever monkey. I'm going to go back to school. And that's where that whole school story starts, where I went back to Ainsley Park High School, and I'd done the psychology, I'd done the other shite. But the computing one was the only one that really stuck. And so they moved that into Muirhouse, into this wee building. I was doing that. Morag. Appears there.
Hello, Morag. I've heard a lot about you, Morag.
Oh, Morag's lovely. Amazing. Because again, I'm a scumbag. I'm still in Shit Creek, but like I say, I'm relaxed in it now. It's not getting to me. It's never managed to get me. I'm still going. I'm 25, 26-year-old. And as far as I was concerned, I had achieved everything. Everything was boring. I needed a new challenge, and education was a challenge. So, like I say, the computing thing was great. Morag's there on my shoulder, showing me what to do, helping me along. And because she was a theatrical agent, she's dropping hints about this campaign that she's got to find actors for. And I'm like, oh, fuck it, I didn't know none about that. And I just thought she was just talking away, and then she says, oh, blah, blah, blah. Have you seen that? I said, what is you looking for? She said, I'm looking for people that act tough. I said, tell me you owe me money. I'll show you tough. She said, no, Alan, will you do it? So she obviously saw something as well. This idiot, this asshole that's still fannying about in Shit Creek doing what he does. But I'm trying to educate myself, and I'm doing the computing thing. And obviously for that, we ended up doing the IKEA adverts. And I'd not only done the one, I'd done 2. So fucking fascinating, absolutely fascinating.
That's a challenge for anybody watching this. I want you to go find the IKEA advert with Alan in it, because it'll be somewhere. It'll be on some...
If you go into Vimeo...
is it on Vimeo?
It's on Vimeo.
Oh, he knows where it is. He knows where it is. Sorry, I'm going to move that in front of you.
IKEA's gone soft. It was for the launch of the Glasgow store.
Superb.
They
okay.
They made 3, I went through to audition for one,
Right.
and then it was a wardrobe call.
Right.
And they're like, you'll be wearing this, you'll be wearing that. See you on set tomorrow, lovey. Blah, blah, blah. I thought, yeah, high five. They're taking over a pub. We're going to shoot this one in a pub. And this big guy, they were amazing because the crew or the team, the guys that were putting it together, lovely, dressed in Prada. That's where Prada actually started. I thought, that's very subtle, but fucking lovely quality gear. Couldn't afford it, but as if you're doing things on the side, yeah. So I'm walking away thinking, right, okay, be on set tomorrow, 7:30. He's like, London. I was like, Al, you're in this one. I says, no, I'm in the one in the pub. He says, no, you're in this one, I know. I went in, and the guy, another pal of mine, Gary McCormack, he had just come back for shooting Gangs in New York with Martin Scorsese and Leonardo DiCaprio, Cameron Diaz, and I'm like, and here you are in Glasgow shooting it. I thought, fuck off, you're talking shite, man. He's blethering away, but he fucking had that air about him that he was somebody. And again, the Exploited badge. Gary was the bass guitarist for the Exploited. So again, another serendipitous thing. So he says to me, so are you in too then? And I'm like, aye. As in like, yes, I fucking am. It wasn't until we started shooting the big one, the launch one, because we'd done the pub one in the morning. Right. Dinner time, they went to the Tundra. They started shooting the second one, which is a bus shelter. They just plonked the bus shelter where the armadillo is now. Right. It wasn't there. Shot it there, and then we went on. We went to the Barrowlands. Right. We're outside the Barrowlands, and man, it was fucking mean. The wee guy, Sandy Nelson, who plays the postman in Still Game, he's walking behind us, and this is the one you see on Vimeo. This was the launch one. This was the big one. So they shot it there, outside the oldest tenement in the Gorbals. Hilarious, absolutely hilarious. We're outside that old tenement and we're walking, so the camera's set up way over here. It's a long shot, and the addicts, all these fellow monkeys, are walking past, and they're like, "Oh, what are they doing?" And the other one's like, "They must be shooting Taggart." And by that time, I think Matt McManus had died. They were like, "Taggart's dead." That was the actor, mate. But anyway, hilarious. We done there. Then there's that big hill beside one side of the river, and then the other one we closed on the end of the Clyde. Right. And we're walking, and Gary said to me, "So it's for IKEA." I was the man that put the I in IKEA. Right. See the football on Saturday? Aye. Good game, eh? Aye. You going next week? Aye. Should be good, eh? Aye. That's it. That's all I fucking said. And then we're standing next to the Clyde. I'm flinging stains into the water. The other wee guy, he's doing his thing. And Gary sits down, he pulls out this bit of catalogue, and he's like, "Yeah." I was just thinking, oh, these red drapes, they could combat that stale space next to the fireplace. Sandy walks over, looks over his shoulder and says, "What are you talking about, man? That's a burnt sienna, no a red." And a wee squeaky noise comes at the end. I've come back from your house, everybody's seen it, and they're laughing like fuck, and it's hilarity. And one of the guys says to me, "Oh, saw the advert, fucking funny as fuck. But what's the burnt Caro about?" Because I thought it was a Ford Sierra. Again, it's the naivety. I didn't know what burnt Sierra was either until somebody says, "Oh, it's a colour, you daft cunt." I thought, oh, well, there you go, you learn something new every day. So again, it's that hilarity side. And I reckon if you went and saw the advert, that would probably be word for word what Gary said.
Guaranteed I've seen the advert. I just need to jog a memory.
It was funny as fuck, as far as I'm concerned. And that's the one you can see on Vimeo. But again, lived that because I was still working the gunner. So here's this peacekeeper that, should a guy come in and be standing at the bar and turn to his pal and say, "You want a pint?" And he's got 4 young guys with him. The way he's turned, the wind backdrafted his shirt. Right. And as I'm walking past, and I've just fucking reaction and took an axe out the back of his trousers. He's got an axe and gone, you tree chopping, you fucking lumberjack.
Starting a fire, mate.
This is the same asshole that's coming on the telly every now and again. So it was funny, and throughout the scheme, I think that's what kind of would provoke people to think, anything's fucking possible if this idiot can do it. And there was a few guys were going to the college to do the computing thing because they would look in the window and see this asshole sitting at a computer. Think, what the fuck is he doing? That's no where we belong. We belong in the gutters here. So there was that side of it, and then it must have been a year after it. she phoned me again. She says, "Oh, got this guy. He's making a movie. He saw you. Do you fancy it?" I said, "Fuck, I put me up for that." No, but went up, met the guy, the lovely guy, Norman Stone. He's doing this movie. At the time, it was Trevor for EastEnders.
Right.
Nasty bastard.
Aye, Trevor, aye.
And I thought, fuck, I put me up for it. So the only part that I was to go for, because I met him, we met in the George Hotel, and he's like, "Oh, now that I've met you," he's explained the scene, and he says, "Now that I've met you, I want to offer you the part. Will you date us?" Of course I'll fucking do it. Sure, on it. So that's me, I'm involved. He says, "Now that I've met you, how do you fancy any other scenes? Just fucking knock yourself out, do what you want." Because I'm thinking, this is hilarious, this is fucking daft, but I'll do it. Again, the college thing is fully fired up. I've passed every module, proven to the monkey and myself that yes, we can do this. We can fucking learn. We can play the game in the big man's world. So hey, how do you want a job in the college? Do I? Fuck, I'll go and be a lovey and tread the boards or whatever the fuck it was. But I didn't want to be a teacher at all. Go into the movie thing. And the main scene was in Ibrox Parish Church, where me and Bobby the barman for Still Game, we've got to go in and get a couple of our hookers. We have went with Trevor into his Bible bashing group, where he says his anger management thing. He's got to join that after a big prison sentence. And I just turn and say, "Listen, shift your ass. We'll not go all night," and try and get the birds to leave. And the blind guy, Tam White, he's confronted with Bobby. Bobby's tough because he's got me and he works for the gangster. The blind guy ends up ramming the nut and I'm knocking him out. I try and stab the blind guy with my flick knife, as you do. Fuck you. Trevor for EastEnders jumps the desk, ducks a punch, and then fucking chins me. That's us. That was the main part of the movie. But right down to the end, one of the later scenes is we give him a drug overdose, as in Trevor, because he rebels against the whole gangster stuff. And the gangster is James Cosmo. So we've got him in a van. He's in a van. He's been picked up by one of our. He's defected, and his brother. But his brother sending us text messages. And the funniest thing in the world is my line is, "Shift your ass. We've no got all night." That's it.
That's it.
So we're in the car. These are the extra scenes he's got me in. But this one, we're going to Newcastle, and I get a text message, and it says, I have to read this. The director's like, "Right, so what we'll do is Gordon Dole, he'll get a text message, he'll say that, and then we'll go, okay, well, everybody ready?" And I'm like, "What the fuck am I saying here?" I'm rehearsing saying fucking I for IKEA adverts. I've got one line. Now you've just asked me to do it on the spot. Oh, I need some time. I need to rehearse this. So I've got the text message, and it's they've just passed the Team Valley Junction. Put that down. The driver, he's driving the Merc. And he says, "I underestimated that young guy," because it's his brother that's setting the Alec Friends, as in Trevor, setting him up.
Setting him up, right.
I pull up this Uzi machine gun. Now remember, I've signed the Firearms Act, so I shouldn't be playing with guns. Because as soon as you go into the prison system, you automatically give up your rights to bear arms. I cock my machine gun. "We're going to fucking Newcastle." What am I shooting? But the best part, the scene is, we're coming along the street. The Angel of the North is where the van has stopped. The brother, as in Alec Ferns, Trevor's came to, realised what his brother's doing, goes for him. They pull over, they skid the van, they come out and they run towards the Angel. We spot the van, and all we have to do is, the cameras are set up there, we come along the big main drag, it's a big old carriageway, pull in behind the sound engineer set up there, cameras beside it, pull up, get out the car, guns showing, walk off the scene. So the scene's camera set up there. We're driving along, and I forgot about it. I'm playing with this machine gun and everything else. And we're fucking flying. It's drizzly, it's wet, it's shit weather, it's pitch black. And I'm saying to Stirling Moss, I'm like, "Stuart, whoa, what? You're going to fucking..." Boom. Smash clean into the back of the sound engineer's van. The wing is up there. The fucking radiator's bust and everything else. I'm slating him. We've got out, and then the next minute, everybody all right, everybody care. Smashing everybody's body. Right. Turns to the cameraman. He says, "Right, how much of that did you get before impact?" He said, "Oh, I don't know, I was over there." He saw the car and thought they're not going to make it, and he ran away. You see a wee jitter of the camera. He runs like fuck. So, next minute, Alec Ferns and is laughing. What's he laughing at? They've been sat in a van while we're doing this scene. I forgot we had the microphones on it, so they've heard me shouting at him. He's not going to do it. So when the scene actually in the movie arrives, you see the car pulling up and we get out of the car. There's about 6 guys pushing the car because the car's fucked. There's a van that's been donated by the UDA.
Right.
It's got a big red handy ulster on the side of it. So they thought, well, we've got to take it from Glasgow down to Newcastle because it's the van that they're travelling in.
Right.
As he's driving down, or the guy's driving it down there to get it to set, so to speak, he's covered the side of it. It blew off. So he's driving down with UDA badges on a transit van. I think he got stopped off the police and everything. So it was kind of earmarked that there was things afoot. We've got onto the hill, and the scene is, there's the lassie, I can't remember her name, but she had done 6,000 acres of sky or something at the time, so that was her claim. She's going up the hill. Alex Fern's at the top of the hill with his brother. Our man turns up. He's going to shoot him. I've got my machine gun. There's another guy got a gun. The guy that's turned on us, he's getting the gun put to his head. I do the same with my machine gun to the lassie, which is his girlfriend, is the original one that I says, shift your ass, we've no got all night. She's playing a hooker. So I'm skidding about this fucking hill. I'm falling down the hill, but we've managed to get it. And the next minute, the guy that's getting the gun pointed at his face, we're soaking wet, I'm covered in mud, it's fucking darker cloak, and everybody's freezing. He says, listen, how do we know that these things are safe? Because we've just been fannying about with them, we've crashed the car and everything. Good point. Let's bring the armourer in. So the guy comes in, he's got the briefcase with the guns in it. He says, these things have been thoroughly checked before they come on set. Now we know his one up in the hill is a big silver revolver, it fires a shot. Right. I was a just dummy. So I swear to God, this was fucking hilarious. He was like Paul Daniels. He's got it, and the same gun is the one I got done for. It's a Beretta. So he's went like that, ping, he's took it out, and he says, as you can see, there is nothing in the magazine. And he's showing it around, everybody's gathered round, there's sound engineers, they're just having a nosy. He's like, nothing there. And as you can see, and he's cocked it, he says, there's nothing in the chamber. Went like that, and the fucking thing went off. It had a blank in it. See that noise? Boom! The one wee lassie was like that for probably a day. I thought it was fucking hilarious. We've smashed the car, we've fired the gun. It's just no going to happen. But see, the whole process, it sticks to me like it was yesterday, along with the IKEA adverts, because they're things that are as funny as fuck for a guy out of the creek. No, that hooker, but the other one was a lovely wee lassie called Naomi. Her and her partner were doing this thing. I'm standing outside the bookies. It's the bookies in Penny will become the monkeys' fucking parade. And she phoned me. She says, look, Alan, we're doing this thing. Are you interested? What is it? There's 2 parts. Say it again. Say it slowly, though. It's a musical. Fuck it, as in singing and dancing fucking musical. Me, the asshole, playing a monkey. Sign me up. What do you want me to do? So I did. I played a guy called Rico Suari, and again, these are where the stories are really fucking humorous.
There's playing the game, Alan. There's playing the game.
Well, I'm playing the game. I always had a goatee beard. I'd taken a reaction to some fucking medication, and I couldn't shave, so it just stayed. I've got like bad skin under it, so I always had a goatee beard. So I was playing a character called Rico Suari. I played the doorman. So you're standing in the queue outside Club Ego at Piccadilly Place, another prominent gay club. But the actual play, as it's called, and you would have loved it because it was Oberon and all his fairies and they're on roller skates. It starts when you're in the queue trying to get in, because there's a couple of characters in the queue trying to skive by, chatting you up and all the rest of it. They get into the club, I chase them around the club, I chuck them back out. So it starts as soon as you join the queue, and it goes on. It's a musical, so it's fucking hilarious. But because my name was Rico, they trimmed the beard, fucking, tight wee beard. Coloured it in with fucking blackness. Eyebrows the same. Never thought in any of it. There was a guy that I needed to see in the ghetto, in the scheme, in Royston. So I went down.
As Rico.
But we've done the thing, and I'm supposed to meet. He's let me down for something. So I'm going to get him. No, get him in the bad sense, but I needed to see him. So I drove down. His mate's car's there, but his one's away. Now I know they've got to come back to get that car. So in the scheme streets, there only one car at a time. There's cars parked there, car parked there. You're down the middle. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, right, I'll write the fucker a note. Better fucking phone me. So I'm writing a note and I saw the lights coming. Looked up, police car. You fucking wait. Again, your mate kicked me up the arse, so you can fuck off. Wrote a note, put it in the windscreen, back into the car, drove forward. I've had awkward cases with these guys for years, especially in cars. So the two of them are looking at me, and as I'm going past, we're looking, and I'm, the fuck are you looking at? And I worded it. I have a Tourette's thing where I say, what are you fucking looking at? Drove on. Looked up into the mirror to see if they've hit the brake lights or whatever. And the two of them are laughing. But as I've looked in the mirror, I've caught a swatch. Here's me with this wee black fucking mousery tash and the black eyebrows, and the way that they're looking at me, they're obviously thinking, fucking asshole's back on the glue again or something. You know what I mean? Hilarious. Brilliant. And that was the musical. So I'd done the commercials, the movie, and the musical. And I thought, that's it. It's done.
IKEA commercial. The movie was called
Man Dancing.
Man Dancing, and then
that was called the Donkey Show.
The Donkey Show.
So the monkey and the asshole got to play the part in the fucking Donkey Show.
It's amazing that though, when you think about where you've come from, all that shite on the bag, you know, and you've come full circle to be in everybody's face to say, hi.
The thing for me was that they were the rewards. So because I went and indulged myself by going to get an education that I had robbed off of me, and there's no disputing that, I got robbed. So I went back, and the reward for doing that was here. Well done. Do you want a job teaching that? No, thanks. Well, what about a wee pert then, eh? How do you fancy being on the telly, you big daft cunt? Fuck aye, give me it, let's have it. And you're, it's that weird thing where you're watching yourself on the telly thing. That's fucking me. That's me. And people are phoning you, and they're like, oh, is that you? Are you on the telly?
It's good for the...
Whatever it is, good for the monkey. It was a pat on the back for the monkey, and again, it was the rewards for all the shite. So it was starting to appease it and make it all worthwhile. It wasn't a hassle. The trauma wasn't trauma anymore, because, like I say, I'd fought the demons when that imprisonment happened and the psychiatric stuff. I had the big major fight, and then the psychiatric side, it allowed me to kind of gather it all, because I'd burst the bag wide open. So I'm trying to gather it all in. Here's this people trying to look inside my head, and I'm trying to hide it, and I didn't let them see it. I kept it all to myself. I looked at it, and again, they got what was required, because they couldn't understand it. They understood that it was justified, but as for the dark stuff, I didn't need to show them that, because I'd give them enough to justify what I'd done, and the reaction was. So to get the wee rewards as I climbed on was fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Yeah, definitely. And that to me was the rewards.
So it didn't stop there. I mean, it didn't stop there. You're playing the game didn't stop there. You went on to...
I was constantly playing the game.
Aye.
Yeah. I went for that's when we got the house in Inverkeithing. And then, now I'm educated. Now I've got a bit of tangibility that I'm a member of society, so to speak. My wife then fell pregnant, and thought, right, okay, we can do this. So I got offered the position to go to Perth and work out of Perth. And I went in there as an underling and just grew, because every tool that I'd used and acquired during the criminal world, I just applied that there. So where I was a good guy, I was still a good guy. Where I was a guy that got things done, I was a guy that got things done. And it worked. And I spotted it for what it was, and you thought, you know what, that education that I got, plus the clever stuff, the real stuff, it makes me a viable asset to any company. And the first one I went into, man, I fucking turned it upside down. And they were always forever grateful for everything that I'd done, because I gave them not a fresh pair of eyes, but a fucking pair of eyes that can see through bullshit. And the place was just crammed with bullshit. Yeah, by the time we done that, there was great adoration for that set me up to go elsewhere. And then I was kind of headhunted, because the guy had bitten off Mary Couture, and that's what took us to Aberfeldy. Again, we moved from Inverkeithing, went to Medvin to Kinross, sold Kinross, and went back to Ferry Road. That was a dark point, going back there.
Going back to the borough.
Back to the borough, because Ferry Road Avenue is where I grew up. That's where the darkness had really set in.
And was it just circumstance? I mean, I can't think of any thought process that would that would put you back there.
I went to Medvin, and for reasons, it wasn't a right move. It was me being an asshole, thinking that I knew best. I didn't know best, because I never knew any different. So we split the difference and went to Kinross, and then the work just it stopped. It ceased to be. There was an offer for me to take over the company, and run the company. But I only had a couple of years. I mean, although I was picking up and I was really good at it, I didn't feel warranted in that. So I declined. And then that left me stuck in the middle of fucking nowhere with nothing. And I just says to Christy, I said, come on today, just get us somewhere. Anywhere, I don't mind, I don't care. And I've always been that way. If she's happy, then that's good enough for me. When they smile, that's all I need. So she says, I've got us somewhere. I want to show you. Where is it? It's there. I said, it's Ferrywood Avenue. I know. That's where I grew up. I honestly thought that was me full circle. I was going back there to finish off my term, and I thought, fuck. Went back, and it wasn't nice at all. It was a horrible place. Had some really fucking bizarre dreams. Definitely religious. There was a lot of stuff in there. Again, that 0.5% that I'll refrain for now. But going back there, we then got married there. Christine fell pregnant with Summer, my second daughter, and then the call come to go to Aberfeldy. That's that bridge again. I fucking ran at that bridge. I worked up there for a few months. I went up. The deal was come up for a week. We'll show you what we've got. See what you think. We'll sit down the Friday. Da. I got there and made that much an impression on day one that the guy says to me, look, I'm happy. We didn't need to go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm happy. If you're happy, I want you on board. I said, right, okay. So if I do decide to go with it, when do you want me to start? He says, in the morning. I thought, oh, for fuck's sake. I said, well, listen, if I come up here, I'm moving heaven and earth. I'm bringing my wife, my kids. I didn't want to be standing out in the A9 pissing into the wind if this goes tits up. He says, well, as far as I'm concerned, no danger. Hindsight then showed me that 2 years down the line, it went to fuck. And we ended up, I mean...
Best intentions maybe by the guy, but shit happens as well.
That's exactly it. Circumstances just weren't for happening. And then you get the people saying, oh, but we knew it was doomed. You know, well, why the fuck did you not tell me? Because you wouldn't have listened anyway, because I was chasing a dream.
And you're trying to get out of fucking Dodge again anyway.
I was getting name away to fuck, looking after number one. But we went from shit to shitter, and we ended up coming back down the road. Like I say, it went pear-shaped, the recession hit, and we ended up in going back to Muirhouse. Again, the wings got clipped, everything. I had to try to address certain issues, and it was a bad situation. Ended up coming back, getting the job. Now, my wife will go on at me because I keep referring to pig farts, and nobody knows what pig farts is. It's Pigford's removals. They're called pig farts because it was shit. Everything. I was driving vans with the fucking wheels fell off, doors fell off. One I had to drive with one shoe on because I had to put my foot under the clutch. In a 40-foot truck, it's not funny. You put the clutch down, change gear, put your foot under it, and lift the clutch back up. No fucking fun at all. So, no, I didn't like that. And for the years that I was there, no, you're a number and that's all you are. But whereas anybody that knows me knows that I'm a value. And I was a poster boy for them because I didn't want to be out all day moving fuckers' furnitures. I want to be day in the bit, earning that tinny beans and going home to my wife and kids because that's where I'm best placed. So I wouldn't fuck about. And they say, no, she would use me as a poster boy, the boss woman, and say, how come this asshole can go out there, do that, and twice the time that use fuckers are doing it? Think, well, the question is, you've got them on 0-hour contracts. The more they're out, the more they get paid. They don't want to go fucking fast. They want to earn a crust. So, again, it was just horrible. It was shite. But I'd done it. And again, that was what I thought was my duty because I never had any of that guidance, the fatherly figure to say, do this, do that. So, done that. And the wee reward for paying attention on that was one of the lassies I knew had put out a call for assholes to be in a music video. Fucking I'll do that. Right, smashing. Come to an audition. Come down. Great. Got a phone call that night. You're in. It's a Florence in the Machine video. They're shooting it in Oban over 3 days. Can you pack a bag? You leave the morning. So you're fucking damn straight I can. Because it's another one to put on that CV of things that, I don't know, they are rewards. We went there and we done it. Our song was Queen of Peace. And it was amazing. Absolutely fucking fantastic. The fantastic thing.
I bet you none of you thought this was going to get said.
No chance. But see, again, where things have to be crossed and double paths, have to walk over hallowed ground. When Christine and I got married, Sky was 2 or 3 year old. And money wasn't massive. I mean, we could afford other things, but we went to Oban for our honeymoon. We stayed in a hotel, we done the whole, not so much the 500, but we went Inverness and Aviemore and places like that.
You go on the
I
ferry
loved
to
Scotland.
that Tobermory or whatever the hell.
No, the idea. What we done was went on an open top bus.
Aye, nice.
Me and Sky, my oldest one, we were on the bus. Christine's on the other side, and we're down along. And if it wasn't for fucking having vision, we would have got twatted in the head with a fucking tree, because the tree come over the windscreen and right along the chairs, and we ducked, and it went right over our head. But we drove and we drove, and I had my father-in-law. He had a big Merc, a lovely Merc. I don't know what we had, but this was a nicer car to take.
Aye.
So we'd parked it, put loads of dough in it. If it was a 2-hour trip, put 3 hours in the parking meter. It'll be fine. We've got over to this place called the Isle of Seal, and that's where the tour kind of stopped there. They went for a piss and a cup of tea or whatever. And it was a wee old, it's a slate quarry where all the slate off all the roofs come for here. So we went, and it's nostalgic, and we went into the shop, and it's a cracking wee shop. Sorry, we're going to have a bit of delay. What? The bus is broke down. Like, you having a fucking giraffe, pal? I parked the car, it's got to get lifted. I don't know how long it took, and by the time they actually got us back into Oban, car's still sitting there, no ticket or fuck all, but to see the anxiety, think, oh fuck, it's my father-in-law's car. What a dickhead. When I got the call to go to Oban, they took us up in a minibus. So we've gone into Oban, and it kept going through, and it kept going up and over and up and over, and drove us in to the same fucking car park where the bus had broke down. It's just bizarre. But that's where it was. That's exactly where it was. Yeah, so again, another reward for the endurance and the perseverance, because I had went up there, and no, I done it for the wrong reasons, because I wanted to prove a point that yes, I can do this. I'm no a criminal. I'm no the labelled arsehole that people may have perceived me to be. I can show you, and I showed them, and that's what I'm saying. To go for the assistant, to the site manager, to the contract supervisor, to the contracts manager in the shortest of times. It showed that I was paying attention. And again, all the jobs that I'd done, every one of them was fucking perfect feedback, to the extent that one of the guys, Lingo out the big mob, they had asked me to go and join their gang because they saw what I could do and how I was. I wasn't a bully, I wasn't any at all. I was just do the job. Tell me what you want me to do, and I'll do it. I understood what it was. Because you've got a bill of quantities and you've got a program of works. To me, that's the ingredients for baking a cake.
Right.
Follow the guidelines, you get a lovely cake. If you deviate for it and swap the sugar for salt, you're going to end up with something that the customer will not fucking swallow. Or eat it, they'll not take it. So as long as you didn't deviate for it, you didn't cheat them, you didn't rob them, you just do exactly what it is. It's a win-win. And I made great profit for the companies. Everybody was happy. You get the £5,000 bonus and things like that. So I was doing really great, but I was doing it for all the wrong reasons. I was trying to prove a point to people that probably weren't interested. It was only fucking me proving a point to myself that I could actually do it.
You could do it,
And I did do it. So coming back into the hood, it was kind of like, see how you went and done that. Yeah, there's another one for your CV of bullshit. Flinging a music video, like, yes. And I thought, well, there's nothing much missing here. This is all great fun. This is tickety-boo. I'll keep doing my thing. Then, because I was so good at what I'd done at Piglet Farts, which is Pigfarts, I managed to get a position in Standard Life where Pig Farts had been contracted by them to do various things. And you didn't get in there. The guys that were there, they were too paid over for another company when Pig Farts fucking won the contract. But they saw something else and they invited me on board, and I was there for 3 years or something, and I loved it there. But Pig Farts pissed me off, along with the revelation that I'd been living another 28-year lie. So the clouds were gathering then, and I thought, I've been here before. This is a feeble attempt to topple me, assholes. But during that time, Gary Fraser had phoned and says, got this thing going, da-da-da. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to go along and I'm going to see what this is all about. Because Gary's asked me so many times, and it's just never been the right time. I went along, and I fucking loved it. There was all these guys there. There was ex-addict, people that had turned their life around, and the intention was superb, absolutely superb. The story in itself was great, and the one guy, he hadn't turned up. Something had happened. They wanted me to possibly play a part as some other guy.
Right.
But this guy he's a drug dealer. He's ended up with a drug habit. He's actually working for his uncle. His old man doesn't like him because of what he's done in the drug dealing and all that. He's got a girlfriend with a kid, and he's been stabbed because he's The bird's left. She's took the kid. He's on his arse. He's come out of the hospital. He's still suffering for the wound. He's withdrawn and everything. The father is sent round to see the laddie. The laddie's in a bad way. Oh, do you fancy stepping in? It's all about the guy that's in his recovery side. But they needed somebody to play the father. I said, fuck it, I'm here now. In for a penny, in for a pound. So I went in, and I don't know what they were expecting. If it was me supposed to be saying, "Oh, my poor boy, what's happened? What's happened?" But I never. I went in. And see, look at the fucking state of you. Look at the state of this place. But didn't he fucking look at me for sympathy? Look at your brother. You know where your brother is? He's away with his lovely wee dolly bird. They're in Tenerife having a fucking fantastic time. Look at you. Lying there in your own fucking pissing shit. Are you not ashamed of yourself? Well, why did you come round? I said, because your ma's in my fucking head, giving me that all the time. Oh my boy, you've no idea what you're doing to her. But Dad, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you go down the stair and get so-and-so and get me a bag? I said, any bother, son. What you wanting? You want a carrier bag? You want a bag for fucking Greg's with a sausage roll in it? What do you want, a bag? Because obviously I know what he's talking about. And he's like, oh, but Dad, she's left me. I says, you can save that shit for Jeremy Kyle, you fucking arsehole. See at that, they burst out laughing, and that was kind of like, okay, I'll cut at that. I've looked up, there was lassies grating, and they just couldn't believe it. They said, oh, that's you. You're fucking doing that bit. So we stuck at it, and again, that's where that whole train spotting thing come in for Gary. So there was a pause in between it where he'd done train spotting too. And then by the time he called, I was still working with pig farts at Standard Life, and I says to the guys, look, I've got an appointment. No bother, you take your time, go and do what you want to do. It's right. We're in a cask and barrel at the bottom of Broughton Street. We're shooting this thing. I've never tell them what to do. I just says I had an appointment. So I went down the van, parked it, and I'd parked there before and transferred stuff for Standard Life into a building, big church. So I thought I should be all right there. Went in, and I'm expecting it to be kind of random. No guy with a camcorder or something. Went in, and everybody's there. Camera crews are there. The fucking sound engineer, wardrobe, everything's there. And we'd done this scene, and it was fucking hilarious. And
you've just nipped in for your work.
I just nipped in to do that one scene, but that was the grey area. And so that was the two commercials for IKEA, the movie, the musical, the music video, and then a BBC fucking documentary. And you think, well, what's left? What is there left? So
now we're sitting in the cage doing a podcast,
talking shit about how you can take episode 3, episode 4, where you're in darkness, talking how does a wee guy survive, and how does he create walls and barriers and deal with abusive, various fucking forms of adverse childhood experiences, and how do you climb back for that? How do you make sense of it? How do you make light of it? Just fucking tell you.
Just tell you. There you go.
How do you cap that?
Go back.
Go backwards. You've got to go back. You've got to go back. And that's the thing for me, is going back over it, and again, dragging that bag round the front, having a good look inside it, and seeing that there is fucking gems in surviving. It doesn't have to be the stigma. It doesn't have to be the trauma ruling you. It doesn't have to be you being a prisoner of your own mind. You can take the keys and you fucking lock them things away and get rid of them, get shot of them.
And it's a shame all these people that you've met, all these people that you know, it's a shame that none of them can look at your life, understand your life. Maybe they'll listen to this and be like, fuck, we've had that guy all along.
And never spotted it.
And never spotted it.
That's what I'm saying.
Did he tell you that he's got 200? Did he tell you? Did he tell fucking you? Yeah. Get on the fucking phone and get him.
It's how many personas again do you now see? How many of them? So there's the guy, there's the criminal guy, then there's the guy in the pubs, and the guy in the pub is a fucking fantastic guy. You know, the guy that was dealing in cannabis, because again I wasn't a big drug dealer. All that nasty stuff, I don't adhere to at all. I think it's dangerous, and because I grew up in the 80s, that's where the most fun was. I got to open my eyes in the 80s, certainly 82 rising, because by 82 that was where the darkness, the clouds started to lift, and boom, the glue come in, and I was off. Everything else that happened, there's all the adverse things that happened, but nothing really held me back badly enough, because I saw the light, if you like. That there was more to be had, a lot more to be had. See him getting involved with the cannabis world. It made sense. I sniffed glue because it let me escape. I had to feed that glue addiction, if that was what it was. The addiction was to leave. So I would do the silly wee bits of crime that led to that.
Mhm.
Then the cannabis and the music come in. So I needed music and I needed cannabis. So the easy way to work the things was, right, if I get a bit of cannabis and I sell a bit to him and a bit to him, I'm going to get that for nothing. So I worked that out. The monkey worked that out, no bother at all. It
Quick,
was just
smart.
quick, smart
Yeah.
learning. And that just grew. And again, like you're saying, these other bigger boys that are looking saying, look at this cunt. Look at what he's doing. And they would all try and employ me. But I was a single agent. I was a lone ranger. I'd done my own thing. And I think when I went, that same single agent and lone ranger, I applied that when I went into civils and in the groundworking industry. And I would say, because other managers would fuck up a job, I'd get sent in to fix it. Another one would fuck up a job, I got sent in to fix it. I didn't get no credence, no joy out of that, because I'm just doing what the guy originally asked for. They've went and pissed him off. Now they've sent in me to fix it. And now he's not happy, because that's what he wanted originally. So I get no glory.
No,
they're just happy that
you're
their
just
job's
fixing
been
the
done.
problem.
If it's my job and I do it, they're fucking happy. They're like, fucking well done, Al. The guys with the phone masks, they were always over the moon, delighted. I actually got one of the comebacks that says, Al, the client has been in touch and says that is the best one they have in Scotland. That's the kind of sheriff's badge. Because I'm an asshole, but I've done a fucking good job for them.
But look how much good you've done through all these different things that you've talked about. Oh, everything's good. You know, there's a shite, but you know, when you've turned your hand to something.
If you let me do it, I did my best there. Marvelous. But again, it's another persona, because that persona that was there doing these things, getting the goodness of it, because I was fixing his and fixing his and fixing his. When I ended up going to Aberfeldy, I had to tell them in the initial, listen, I'm no Jimmy fucking Savile here. I'm no Jim will fix it. And then when that whole bullshittery come out, I think, I should have stuck with the Lone Ranger, because no, I'm no fucking Savile, no chance. But it was that phrase that Jim will fix it. It was like, the monkey will fix it, the monkey will fix it. And that's what I was doing. I was having to go in and fix guys who were above me, probably in pay grade and stature and everything else. And that's what I'm saying, the ladders. I climbed. Show me the rules, show me what you want. I'll guarantee you, I will fucking overtake you. I will try my best to get above you. And that's predominantly what I've done. And that's how I climbed it all. So yeah, to get full circle, to come back to then be told, well done, Al. Here's your last one. Are you in? Fuck it, I'm in. What is it? I've been lying to you for 28 years, you big daft cunt. What you got to do about it?
Fucking off.
You're going to do fuck all, pal, because you're not going to get me with that. That's a feeble fucking attempt at knocking me down. Because I've got the 4 pillars that surround me, which is my 3 daughters and my wife. They hold my fucking sky up for me. So you need more than Hercules to knock this over. I'm no for budging now. I've done everything that I've wanted to do with an extra fucking 10% above it. So to try and knock me down now, not going to happen. Well, there's 2020, Al. How do you feel about that? Fucking delighted. I will sit on my ass and I will bring that whole fucking bag around and I will sift through everything. And that, too big, too wee, too big, too wee. And that's where I end up with the wee travel case. It's as light as fuck. My shoulder has never been better. And it's no because I pulled you out the socket at 17-year-old in the Willie Muir. It's because I didn't carry a weight of bullshit that doesn't belong. So that to me is full circle.
Full fucking circle.
The full
58 minutes.
Oh, mate, you couldn't have timed that fucking better, could you?
Fuck's sake, I'm going to hit the button.
Hey.
Wait,
Perfect. Hey.
that we had to go there. We had to do
I think so, yeah.
Brilliant.
I love that one.
Yep. Right, I'll wait. And Alan is available to hire right now.
For bar mitzvahs and weddings.
Wins. Right, dude, it's your one.
Oh, it's time to go.
Aye.
And it's a toodle pip for now.
Adios.